real stories, real strategies from people moving. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, welcome to the Box Truck Hustle, where we highlight real stories and real strategies for people moving freight every day. I'm your host, Telly Arnold, the owner of TLA Group, and also the creator of Straight Connect, a platform built strictly for the box truck community where dispatchers, drivers, and carriers connect in a verified platform. And my co-host is my business partner, Sharif, and he will introduce himself.
How are you guys? I'm Sharif Brooks. I've been driving trucks for 25 years since '01. Now I'm in the box truck business, and it's great to be here.
And our special guest today is George McWilliams with Sumar. And I will let George introduce himself.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, George with Sumar, Director of Business Development. We are a factoring company based out of Miami. We do work nationwide, obviously, but yeah. So definitely happy to be here and happy to be able to talk with y'all.
All
Yes.
right. So, George, based on what I have read, Sumar is a factoring company, correct?
That's right. Yeah, we're one of the last in the industry that still works with box trucks, which is why I wanted to connect with you guys because I know a lot of factoring companies have either gone away completely with working with box truck companies, or they're charging outrageous rates or fees to get set up that it's one of those deals. It's like, sure, if you want to pay this enormous fee, we'll set you up for factoring, but good luck if your debtors are approved or things along those lines. They're not willing to work with box trucks the way that we did, say, even 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. So, y'all specialize specifically for box trucks, not just box truck, but y'all one of the ones who
We're one of
built.
the few
Okay.
left that actually still work with them. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
gotcha.
and we love it, right? So yeah, if we want to say specialize, I'm like, it might get to a point to where we're going to specialize in box trucks because nobody else or none of our competitors are in that space any longer.
And
Is it
why do
a?
you think that is?
A number of different reasons. Probably the biggest reason is going to be the amount per invoice is traditionally going to be lower. You're doing the same amount of work for less profit. So
Yeah.
a lot of companies have looked at that as, well, this is a no gain for me because uh, I've got a box truck company that they have 3 customers. Two of those pay them cash on delivery. Maybe they're
Mm-hmm.
local routes, local deliveries, that type of thing. But now I've got a debtor that I can make, $1,000 on this run. So now I've got 3 separate areas that I'm working with. Well, only one of them is factorable.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Gotcha.
can't work with you on the other 2 customers. I can work with you on the one. So a lot of companies don't find that to be profitable. I find it, if I can coach it properly to the especially newer carriers, that's a best benefit. You've got the benefit of being able to work localized, cash on delivery, COD, get all of that done, but then also have the ability to work on, say a load board or something where you do find a load that's going to take you from Houston to Kansas City because the World Cup's in town and you need to get some stuff done. Well, traditionally, maybe if I don't have a factoring company, um, I'm not going to take that load because I already know it's going to take 45 days or so for me to get paid back on that for all my expenses from going from Houston to Kansas City. Well, if you
Mm-hmm.
have a factoring company, then obviously once you drop that load in Kansas City, you factor that load, money's money. You got your money. Everything's good. You come back to Houston. Now you've got 3 or 4 loads where you're just running where a traditional cash on delivery. So you may only use that design to where you're going to have an actual broker or an actual pay term of 30 or 45 days. You may only have that once or twice a month.
Right.
Majority of your stuff may be just local runs. That's where it can be a big benefit is if you already got that set up and it's just something in your back pocket that you're able to utilize.
Gotcha.
Mm, 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 mm.
What you gonna say,
So do you?
Sharif?
No, I was going to ask it. Do you feel like it's going to get harder? It's going to get worse as time goes on?
What's going to get worse is there's just not going to be enough avenues for people that get into box truck that have that do want to specialize locally,
Hmm.
but then have the opportunity or option to be able to haul multi-state.
Gotcha.
That's where you're gonna have to figure out, like, okay, well, if there is still factoring companies that allow for that, then great. If not, I need to figure out, is it worth it for me to take that load where it may be 3 times the amount of money I'm typically making on a load, but that's also going to delay me 45 days potentially to be able to get paid on that load. Can I suck it up?
Mm.
I don't think, though, especially with companies like mine with Summar, I don't think you're gonna run into an issue where you're gonna run into where everybody or all the factoring companies are completely out of the game. There
Right.
may
Gotcha.
be different things or how it's structured,
Mm-hmm.
but not completely out of it altogether.
So what about like I know a lot of box truck carriers, they do like final mile, white glove delivery where we have to work a week in a hole. Like, is there a way to factor that? Like, I don't know if there's a way to like factor something like that because that's what a lot of us do, and we have to work a week in a hole, and you struggling.
Yeah, it's really going to depend upon who your debtor is and
Uh
how
huh.
long you have to wait. If it's a contract job, say like a big furniture store, then you're probably not gonna. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be factorable. If it's a true broker that you're
Right.
getting that load from,
Mm-hmm.
then depending upon credit checks is going to make a difference on whether or not you're able to factor that load. But that's really the way to look at it. Is this something that you're getting from, say, like a traditional broker, or is this more of a contract type based cash on delivery? You may wait 7 or 14 days, but it's still pay terms that are within what most people can wait, right? So if I'm a W 2 employee, I'm typically waiting a couple weeks per paycheck
Right.
Hmm.
versus hauling something where I'm going to now have to wait 60 days to get paid on that.
Yeah, I think it may be hard because a lot of times when you're doing white glove delivery, at least the ones we were with, we are doing going through brokers, right? We're going through brokers. And then you get a route for the day and sometimes you don't even know how much you're going to get paid for that route because every delivery isn't successful. So,
Okay.
and at least when we worked the Lowe's contract with, we was doing Lowe's, but we went through a broker. We were contracted through a broker. You would get a route like 16 at the most. You should get $600 or $700 a day, and you have to work a week in the holes. And I was like, we done got too used to factoring, which you shouldn't depend on it, but you like getting your money fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where you just got to work with your business. That's where I think it's a benefit for folks that are, your box trucks, your sprinter vans, your hotshot guys. I've done a lot of work with a lot of hotshot folks that it is that, hey, most of my stuff is going to be localized, but I still have an opportunity as I'm not completely closing down load boards so that I can factor those particular loads because if I'm willing to go out for 5, 6, 7 days,
Hmm.
um, then I'm probably looking at maybe $1,500, $2,000 for that payday. But it's going to take me 45 days to get paid on that particular haul. Well,
Right.
that's when you can utilize both forms of I'm going to get paid same day on these, and I'm going to factor the rest of these, which you're still getting same day payment on, and then allowing your factoring company obviously to go through and do your collections and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely see it as I personally see it as the best of both worlds when it comes to COD. I'm not paying a factoring company. I'm getting my own contracts, but I'm also still paying attention to, maybe spot freight, things like that, where I may catch a diamond in the rough and be like, I'm willing to go out for a week if it's going to pay me and going to be worth it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, just staying in touch with the road money to stay acclimated to both of them, like we did with Amazon, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because Amazon now they allow you to factor, but
Oh,
I
really?
never.
Okay.
Yeah, we could factor our invoices with Amazon. You have to. I kind of asked them about it, but I think I had to like give them access to our something on our factoring, and I was like, yeah, I don't have time to figure this out today, so we'll just wait a week to get paid.
Gotcha, gotcha.
The
I was like,
trouble,
all
the
right,
trouble
I'm
with
good.
Amazon was that they're so big that they didn't care if a notice of assignment was on file. That hey, I've got a factoring company. You could threaten them with all sorts of fun stuff. They've got all the lawyers and all the money, so it's not
Yeah.
what leg do you
Hmm.
stand on? And that's a challenge that we had where it was like, look, if you're gonna run primarily Amazon, which is what I've saw, which is a lot of those folks, you're gonna spot freight load boards, whatever, or you're running almost 100% Amazon. It wasn't a whole lot of I'm doing both types of situations, at least with my customers. So it was more of a if you're going to run with Amazon, don't even sign up for factoring because it's not going to be you're not going to
Yeah.
submit the invoice for factoring. They're not going to pay me regardless. They're going to pay you. So the relationship's not going to work out, and you'll be able to save yourself a little bit of money on the factoring end of it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I got you. So what are some
All they got to
mistakes
do
that
is
you
make the loads better, so we can be excited when the money come in. So
That's
sorry,
Right,
go
right.
and that's
ahead.
that's where I like to say for Sumar, as far as our folks go, and the experience level that a lot of us have is we try to be transparent with a lot of that stuff up front when we
Hmm.
are working with you, so that we can advise you, yeah, this would be a good fit for you to sign up for factoring because you can do XYZ, or no, this isn't going to be a good fit. You're going to want to get in a situation where, a UCC filing may hurt your business or something like that. So we certainly try to be transparent up front to make sure that uh, the business opportunity that you have, how you've laid out your business, is going to be something that's going to work with us. And like I said, a
Right.
lot
Gotcha.
of factors don't work with box trucks because that business model just didn't work um, for what they were doing. And really, honestly, I think it's because the way that a lot of factoring companies sell is they're not transparent and honest up front. They're just looking
Yeah.
to sign up everybody and then leave it at that. Whereas
Hmm.
I would try to make sure, hey, we're going to stay in communication, learn about your business, figure it out. Because last thing I want you to do is sign up with me and then 3 months later have you calling, complaining to me, and being very upset about the fact that I misled you some way, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Yeah.
so you've got to be extra open, extra honest, extra transparent so that those conversations are remembered that, no, George did tell me this was how this was going to go, so that
Hmm.
we're not, feuding over something that really shouldn't be feuded about.
Yes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So as far as Sumar, y'all, how long have y'all been around? Because when we started 3 years ago, like I only knew about a couple of factoring companies, which was RTS and what's the other one? I can't think of the name of them. Big one. I can't think of them. How do y'all compete with them? Because like RTS, they offer a load board, and that was very much appealing to me when I signed up.
Yeah, so Subaru's been around for about 20 years. The bulk, a lot of our business is general factoring. So like other businesses outside of transportation. So you got general
Mm-hmm.
factoring, and then you got transportation factoring. We've been doing transportation factoring for 20 years. It just hasn't been in a lot of markets. We are a very heavy Latin based um, factoring company.
Okay.
So our home office being in Miami, and then we've got a lot of our business is done in Mexico,
Gotcha.
Laredo, that area. So we are trying to expand. Which I make a joke to Ivan, who's our vice president. I was like, well, you should hire George McWilliams from Kansas City, because
Yeah.
you want to get out of the Latin market. There's
Yeah.
nothing more than the Caucasian in the Midwest. There's gonna be no confusion on that. So
Right.
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
I'm
Because
like,
when
yeah,
you when
this will
you
make
approached
sense.
me, I was
Hire
like,
me. So we'll get the name out there, and we'll do something else. But that is, I mean, honestly, we joke, but that really is a large part of me coming on board with Summar and trying to expand out and let people know, like, look, Summar is a fantastic operation. You just haven't heard about us yet. And
yeah,
we certainly want to get our name out there. And like I said, especially with the folks that your clientele are, with the box trucks, we want them to know that we are here for them. We're not going to price gouge. We're not going to do that. We're still in operation to make sure that they're running successfully as well.
yeah, yeah. No, I can understand getting more visibility, especially when you're heavily predominantly dominating in another area, right? And so
Yeah.
that's why I said Sumar. I had to read up on y'all. I was like, who is this company? I
Yep.
didn't realize there's a lot of factoring companies out here that I just never heard of. You hear about one and then you get kind of complacent until they piss you off. Then you're ready to like,
Sure.
okay, what other factoring companies are out there? That's when you start looking, right?
Hmm.
And I can honestly say when we first signed up, um, I only knew about one factoring company, and then they sold me on the load board. Like I was like, oh, so we signed up. You can, however, we learned quickly just because you signed up with the factoring didn't mean you can book a load. You had to wait the so many days, then you had to get a safety inspection, and like you said, that's when people are upset. Everything wasn't explained to me when I first signed up. Like, you didn't tell me I had to go through a safety inspection. Now you're telling me this is two separate companies. So, I think it's good that I'm finding out about the different factoring companies out there because I've had another factoring company who joined as well too, and I was like, oh, you exist too? You just
Yeah, well,
don't
there's a
know.
lot of them out there, and we've all got our little intricacies. I've been in the factoring world since 2014, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's got something a little bit different that they do or they offer, and you're constantly evolving. Factoring in
Correct.
2014 is not the same thing as it is here in 2026. Um, the people are the same, the players are the same, but technology's different.
Mm-hmm.
Fraud is different. We had COVID, so the ups and downs of all of that. So the factoring world has to change with the carriers more so than anybody else in the industry because that's my direct report is my carrier. Those are the
Correct.
people I talk to. Now the people that I truly care about as far as factoring a load is the broker, the
Right.
debtor. That's the
Right.
credit I'm worried about.
Correct.
But I need
Mm.
to make sure that my customer is also taken care of. My particular customer, the driver, the company owner of that trucking company, to make sure that they're finding loads properly, they're getting paid properly. So it's a whole thing. So factor is kind of a in the middle there between the broker and the carrier,
Mm-hmm.
because we need all of them to survive for us to survive.
Mm.
Correct.
Hmm.
So let me ask you this. Say, for instance, somebody books a load like, what's today? Tuesday? I'm getting my days mixed. They book a load
Yeah.
Monday. They factor it before noon on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, their credit score downgrades. Have you ever had a situation like that happen? And then the carrier is like, what happens if the carrier can't get paid, but at the time they booked the load, everything was good? Because things shift overnight quickly in trucking.
They do, and those are really really tough scenarios because there's not a winner involved. There's nobody wins when that happens. Um, if you've submitted your paperwork, then and they're approved, then we're going to factor that load. That you're getting paid on that. Where
Right.
that where we run into the issue with the scenario that you're given is that you haul a load. 3 days later, I go to deliver it. Well, 3 days ago, I did the credit check, and now they're not approved today. Unfortunately, you're still running into is it a recourse or non-recourse, or is it a approved debtor or not? Whatever the factoring company's rules are regarding unapproved debtors,
Mm-hmm.
they can be different depending upon who the factoring company is. Majority of the factoring companies, though, if that's not an approved debtor, you're not going to be able to factor that load.
Right.
So
Right.
you are going to be stuck. That's why I said there's no winners in that scenario because
But at the
if the
time that they did it, it was an approved person.
and I've ran across that more probably in the past couple of years than I
Mm-hmm.
did the previous 8 years,
It's
where company's credit looks good, everything's been fine, and then overnight fraud happens, double brokering happens. It's typically not the carrier that we're working with that something negative has happened on. It's
Mm-hmm.
somebody else that we're factoring that has
Mm-hmm.
something happen. So now we're notified. Double brokering seems to be about the one that usually gets caught up in this whole small window,
Yeah.
approved and not approved 3 days.
You're
It's
right.
typically something that's been found out about that happened to that debtor,
Mm-hmm.
so it's shut off, and that's typically where those carriers get. It's not even their load.
Right.
I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, they're paying me on time. I've never ran into any issues." No, that's great, but we're currently working a situation where something has happened, and again, a large part of the times in these skits, because it doesn't happen often, but when they do, or at least the ones that I can really recall right off the top, it's been a double brokering situation where we've had to pump the brakes completely, put a halt to everything, get that situation cleared to make sure that all of our customers are paid and we're not floating dollars that will never be recovered. And then
mm,
at that point, we can continue moving forward with that particular debtor um, to get paid. But yeah, those are rough scenarios because you're like, you know what, I got a factoring
Yeah.
company and you guys are supposed to be paying me, but now you're telling me you're not going to pay me, and
Right.
it almost always comes back to something fraudulent that not on the
Mm-hmm.
carrier,
Not on the carriers, right.
fraudulent that's happening to that broker that
Right.
is messing up the whole system.
it seems like it's only one. It is one winner, the person that received a product without that not having to pay.
Absolutely, yeah, and I guess in that scenario, you're absolutely right. Because I'm like, if the factor is aware of it, well, I'm not getting involved. Well,
Right.
Exactly.
now
So,
you know,
yeah. So one
that's why
question
I say
like
it's
what
just so tough.
yeah, so one question is like what are you guys what tools are y'all putting in place to make it easier to catch this, right? If somebody is, anytime we book a load, especially now in this environment, we were booking a load with one broker consistently, then find out recently that their bond is about to be revoked, they're not paying invoices. What tools do you have in place that can protect the carrier, from how up to date is the credit check and monitoring that not just you guys, that any factoring company can have?
No, so that the monitoring on that's typically through Insonia, and then through
Okay.
various other little smaller reports, and then also your own credit check system. So your credit
Mhm.
check system is going to look at business you've done internally in your processes, and then your external process is going to look at Insonia. So all factoring companies, at least the majority, report to Antonio on debtors. So if there's a delay, and usually they report every 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are any reports, that whenever those are pulled, it's going to track like, okay, factoring company XYZ's reported that they went from 27 days to pay to 46 days to pay. And the
Mm-hmm.
other factors have kind of followed the same target line. Well, we may downgrade their credit to a no buy until we figure out or that credit gets back into shape. So we may have never had a direct situation with that particular debtor,
Gotcha.
but we're following what other folks are saying and what other people are doing and other reports that are out there, and then we're making those decisions. Or the same way, whereas if we've got direct relationship with debtor and they're telling us, well, we're not going to pay you guys anymore. Okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
going to shut them off on my side, but I'm also going to report that out to let
Mm.
everybody else know, hey, we're running into a challenge with this particular debtor. Now, we may be the only one that runs into that challenge, but you try to communicate as much as possible. And technology itself has really advanced in that level to where, I mean, facial recognitions on applications, things along those lines, like Modus is doing now.
Yeah.
I went onto your what is that? Sport Connect,
Straight connect. Straight connect. Mm-hmm.
Straight Connect, and it's got the same,
Mm-hmm.
verifying ID versus face. So a lot of that stuff is coming into play inside the factoring houses to make sure that, are we signing up who we think we're signing up on the
Mm-hmm.
as the carrier, and then the brokers that we're doing business with, do we have up to date information on
Right.
their pay terms and their credit worthiness?
Mm.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So
Sounds
as
like
far
a lot
as
of he say, she say going. You know what I'm saying?
It
Uh,
absolutely can be. That's where when you get the I look at it a lot when you get the brokers that are filing freight guards and things. When the guy just said, "No, I don't want to haul your load," we look at that stuff too. It's like, okay, well,
mm.
are these things legit? A carrier 411.
carrier 411. Yeah.
Those are all
Yeah.
looked at to see, like, okay, is the right information out there? And we've got people on our team that are advocates for carriers, and hey, this shouldn't be on there, this shouldn't be that, because of the he said, she said. And it's so easy for in those cases, it's so easy for a broker just to file whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a bad day, and I
Yeah,
don't like the
exactly.
way that Sharif did me on the phone, so I'm going to file this thing that's
And
going to mess this
George,
entire
uh,
business up.
and George, that's
Yeah.
why I try to preach is that everybody that we've hired about how important that phone conversation is with that broker, and they may ask you some silly questions, like the locations, like you're tracking us, but they still gonna call like they used to back in the day. They're gonna call you and want
Sure.
your location, and you gotta really have great patience and go ahead and answer that call and get it over. I say answer that call, get it over with, have a great tone, and it'll tell you how our reputation has gotten better. I've had brokers say how, man, they love dealing with us because the reputation of box truck drivers, just drivers period, but especially box trucks, is real bad. You know what I'm saying? So they like the way we just do our communication.
That's fantastic. No, that's absolutely great advice. Every interaction you have, try to be
Hmm.
pleasant as
Yeah.
possible, because you never
Yeah.
Exactly.
know who's
Yeah.
gonna do something silly, and without checks and balances in place, in some of those regards, you might just get the one person that's like, well, I can file this on you and you can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
no,
because they
that's
look
Hmm.
at
great.
that
That's
carrier
great advice.
411 and you can't even see what's on your carrier 411 because somebody has said something about, I don't even see that you changed something. I'm like, I haven't changed nothing. What are you talking about? Only thing I've done recently is Modus. That's it.
Hmm.
But nobody could tell me. And it was we try to book a load with this company called Fleetworks, and this everything seems to be like AI and automated. And
Okay.
I believe when they tried to book the load with the broker, they're looking at Sharif's email address, and my email address is what's on FMCSA. So they was like, this ain't even the right email. And I'm like, I could see Sharif's email. So I'm responding back. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with our stuff? And they quit responding to us. And I was like, and then I try to log on Carrier 411. They're like, you're a carrier. You can't get on here. I'm like, oh, what?
Right. Yeah. You can't see your own information, but yet somebody can
No.
file on you. That whole process. Yeah. I.
Yeah. They have a
It's
broker
messy.
411, but
It's messy.
it's like
Oh
broker
man, I've
411 is
got
like,
buddies on LinkedIn, and they just go off on certain aspects of that, and I'm just like, my goodness, I'm like, I don't know
we
enough about it. It's not my business, but I hear all about it. I'm like, oh my goodness.
well, that's something I plan on adding a Straight Connect, that we can add comments on brokers to see, just to compare notes, not to like bash nobody or nothing like that. But I can't see Carrier 411. I wish somebody could send me a screenshot. Like I need to mirror what they got onto ours. They probably
Hmm.
pulling up something in from Modus or FMCSA. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna
And tell
figure it out.
you'll be, leveling the playing field, that
Yes.
the brokers and dispatchers now can see and hear what the drivers and carriers are saying about them. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, this Straight
So one
Connects.
question.
I haven't gone all the way through it, but it looks fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. We
Yeah.
just we just created the service provider profile. Um and when you get ready to join, it's like you go into like a holding cell, I guess you could say. And then I go review your information and make sure you're really a company, because people can say, "Oh, I sell insurance," and you really don't, and you getting everybody information and stealing and stuff like that. So once I get that, then I go look at everything, make sure you are who you say you are, then I approve it, and then you go through everything else, and then you get access. But yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah, I stopped at that part just for time so that I could jump on it here, but I was like, I'm like, this is gonna be. I'm telling you that the broker care system, like I said, that's gonna be something. You start showing that around to a lot of people, there'll be a lot of interested people
I want to get
wanting
a
to get
booth,
stuff
but
like
those
that.
booth prices, I need to get a sponsor to give me the money. I
Well,
was like, "Ooh, yeah,
you
I'm
don't have
not
to for
rich."
for the BCS. You don't have to have a booth. Now you do
No,
pay to,
I know,
to
I know.
get
I can
in,
just go. Yeah, the
but
tickets are like $500. I've already
it's
priced
not
it.
free.
Trust me. No,
At all.
it's 500 some dollars. That's not including hotel. I've already looked
It,
it up.
it
And
becomes
flight.
yeah, it becomes an investment at that point. Yes.
I know, and that's why I've been trying. I say, I got till what, 4 months to decide if I'm gonna go or not. I could just drive up the freeway.
Was
I
it in
know,
Dallas?
right?
It's in Dallas.
Dallas this
Okay.
year, yeah, or this
Yes, in Dallas.
yeah.
Yeah. One question though, because we have a debt collector coming on tomorrow who specializes in collecting transportation debt for brokers who don't pay. Do y'all team up with like a company like that before you go to the carrier and say, "Hey, this broker didn't pay"? Do y'all try to, step into, let me get this debt collector to help collect this before it's a negative impact to the carrier?
We do because we have a non-recourse program, so we're gonna do every single thing in our power, and that does include going to debt collections to try to recover funds from those particular brokers. So it's not just a if they file for bankruptcy type of a situation. It is if they just haven't paid. Now, if they haven't paid because there's a claim on a load or um, there was a misunderstanding on how much I was going to pay you, those types of things, we traditionally won't get involved too heavily on those because that's really going to be between you and the debtor or you and the receiver on
It's a civil
what
suit.
what that looked like. So
Mm-hmm.
if we pay you $1,500 and they give us $1,100 and they say, well, there's a $400 discrepancy there because a pallet was broken. Yeah, we're not going to
Yeah.
bill you back instantly on that because your non-recourse stuff's going to kick
Mm-hmm.
in. But you certainly want to work that out with your customer. But we try to stay involved and try to work with you on those with our non-recourse program so that you're not getting slammed without knowing that, hey, there's a $400 balance that's due that's
Right.
sitting out here, and I just submitted a $600 invoice, so it's all eaten up with fees and or short pays.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely try to work with our people and to make sure that they're well aware of where their account stands with us before there's any kind of situation that we would suck up, an invoice that they're expecting to get paid on.
Gotcha.
And telling, uh,
Mm-hmm.
even the stuff he's saying, RTS, they come off as they're not personable. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't see them doing that. You know what I'm saying? They real strict. Even when they the load board, they're not flexible. You can't negotiate. They don't even look like they have dispatchers. You know what I mean? They just everything is automated. So I like how he's talking because everything is personable in the game except the what we call it, the not the broker,
Factoring.
the factoring. That's not personable.
Well,
It's
I
personable
will
when you're
say
joining.
now, well, I deal with them a lot with the factoring. This is the part you don't really see on this part is when sometimes we may get an email that says, "Oh, you didn't sign the document," and I'm like,
Okay,
"Oh,
gotcha.
okay." So I'll
Oh,
go
so when you
ahead.
call me, and need
Yeah,
it, okay,
that's
gotcha. That's them.
yeah. So that's them. So I
Mm,
wouldn't say they're not because one time we sent the Walmart distribution documents. And when I picked up the phone and called them, I was like, blase, blase, blase. And they was like, okay, well, go ahead and just resubmit it. So I wouldn't say they're not personable on that aspect of it
gotcha,
because I can pick up the phone. They respond to my emails. We get things resolved quick so we can get paid quick.
gotcha. But
Now,
I'm
the
looking at
load
it on the
board
side of the
is
load
separate.
board.
Yeah, the
Exactly,
load board is
exactly.
separate from their factoring. That's what I
Gotcha.
understood. The load, yeah, they
So
don't
let
negotiate.
me correct that. Correct
Yes,
my
because they
statement.
listen.
Yes, let me correct my statement. They are not personable when it comes to their load board. Let me put it like
No,
that. You
what you
know.
see on their load board ain't no negotiating.
Yeah. And then it's that period, and I'm glad they listened. That period of when you hit booked, it's all sometimes it's an hour wait, and you don't know if you have the load. We don't have the confirmation doesn't come immediately, so it's like should I be looking for a load? Or we gonna find out in the morning? Do we have this load?
Yeah, is
And
it
I don't
going to
like
my
that little
email?
period.
Is there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
anxiety right there.
We have when I'm not gonna lie, when we book a load with them, I'm like, oh God, do we really got it? We like sitting there waiting. And
Yes,
you wait too
That's
long, you're not gonna have a load that day. We
and that
trying to
has
get a load.
happened.
Yeah, it has happened to us. I can't even
you'd
lie.
Hmm.
almost want that to be identified in the portal, their portal versus external email, so that it pings immediately that it's
Yeah,
Exactly.
load in hand versus doing that third party route.
you don't talk
Yeah.
to
Interesting.
nobody.
Because
You
it's
don't.
time sensitive. It's time sensitive. So
You book
if
it
we,
on
Yeah.
their load board. There's no phone number to call. You just
yeah,
book it, and then they call you and dispatch it. That's when you realize you have it.
exactly. And then it's
You
like
over here like,
and it's always a whew, we got it.
Yeah. That's a
You know?
nerve-wracking set amount of
Yeah.
time, especially if you're dealing with, an hour or two, or
Yeah.
you're sitting at
I'm
the
running out of
coffee shop.
glades.
Where's my headed next? I'm like, I'm trying to get a load.
Exactly. Okay. Hello. So it's like, man.
well, they did tell me if we don't call you within 15 minutes, but that doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you get called in like 45 minutes and you still
Thank you.
had so I'm like, what? Now
And
they
that's
put
why
me in a situation where you go,
And
go
that's why
ahead.
we was talking about how you have to keep your composure because you still got to answer the phone. How are you today? Yes, I know. In 45 minutes. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. You can't really exactly. I can't say, man, well, y'all ain't called me, man. But come on now. You know, I done seen 4 or 5 greater lows leave. You know,
I'm from Houston. I
that's
can
what I
say that
want to
one
say.
is, Bill.
Yeah. You got me
So,
hostage.
George, so when somebody like when a broker wants to sign up, do they go through the same struggle we go through, like to sign up with a factoring company? Um, uh, for how do I want to say it? I'm trying to understand what I'm trying to say. So, like, say for instance, a broker wants to be approved for their invoices to be factored with you guys. Am I saying that right?
Yep. Sure. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. For the credit approval.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they go through the same struggles we go through when our MC becomes active? Like you see their MC became active April 1st. You're like, "Oh, we need to see at least 90 days of credit." Or do y'all take new brokers that are new? Am I making sense?
You absolutely are. I would say that a broker has a harder time
I bet.
than carriers do when it
Really?
comes to being new,
Oh.
because majority. I don't want to say majority. I don't want to. There's so many carriers, whether they're new or not, and regardless of their size, that use factoring companies that rely on those debtors to be approved for factoring. So you've got, let's say 100,000 trucking companies out there that use a
Mhm.
factoring company, and I'm a brand
Mhm.
new debtor.
Mhm.
Well, the mom and pop factoring company versus your Sumars, RTSs,
Gotcha.
none of them have that debtor approved. So none of them are going to factor that particular debtor
Gotcha.
unless there's certain things that are involved. Like for instance, we factor brokers. So we will actually
Okay.
do the same type of factoring for a broker that we do for a carrier. The
Mm.
benefit
Mm.
a broker is going to have on that is that we do automatic approvals for that particular debtor. So any one of our carriers that runs loads with that particular debtor, we will
Mhm.
factor those loads.
Gotcha.
We'll also report, same process. We report to Ansonia on how many days to pay. Well, days to pay is going to be within a couple of days. So we're reporting great credit to all the reports that are out there for those particular, so the other factory companies can see, oh, okay, they are paying, it may be 1 or 2 days, right? Because of how our operating process is,
Gotcha.
that we're automatically classifying them as quickly paid because they're going through us for their billing, for the billing process.
So a broker does factoring. Am I
Absolutely.
understanding?
Yeah.
So a broker does factoring, and then you can have the customers on both sides getting percentages off of both. Am I correct?
Mm.
You are absolutely correct. Yep.
So
That
everybody's
ain't
saving each other. Everybody's saving each other. It's like
Yeah.
paying a bill with. I'm gonna pay this bill with this credit card. I'm gonna use this credit card to fix this credit card, and they go
Beautiful.
down the line.
Yeah. You do have occasions that you're going to have, like, okay, XYZ Trucking Company
mm-hmm.
is my company. They factor with Sumar, and I'm also using, ABC Broker
Brokerage and
is
their
now hauling
factoring.
loads. So they're both utilizing me for factoring. So we're able to get the money from one person to the next person, all internal, but everybody's getting their credit reported properly, getting showing.
Oh,
I mean, in that scenario, yeah, I mean that's great for us as a company because
y'all getting
hey,
it
you're
double time.
controlling all the funds, right?
Yeah.
There's no question that you're going to get paid. Now the question about getting paid there is going to be what shipper now is
A shipper. That's what
responsible
I was just about
for
to
that
say.
payment. But
Mm.
Yeah. So
But
traditionally, shippers are pretty golden
on that part, so when a broker comes to you and say, "Hey, I want to sign up as your factoring." this is my customer. Do y'all go look at their customers, or y'all just strictly on the broker's credit? Y'all don't look at who their customer is.
No, we still do the same. We will still look at the shippers. We still, it does become a little bit more red line in that, whereas we want to make sure, especially with experienced brokers that have a brand new brokerage,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you've been in the game for 10 years under working with some other brokerage. Now you're going to go out and open up your own brokerage. You
Right.
may have a book of business
Mm-hmm.
that you're carrying with you, but your
Right.
brokerage is new.
It's new. Gotcha.
Mm.
One thing that somebody needs to understand, especially when you're dealing with that type of relationship, is that to let them know, hey, your factoring company is going to be involved, and you want to make sure that your customer understands that the billing process, the collections process is going to go through the factor. So the
And
factor
company.
may be reaching out to you to
Mm-hmm.
ask you, hey, is this paperwork proper? Did we really haul this load? Did you guys approve this for the broker to move? Those types of things, because that's where a lot of situational relationships can get damaged,
Right.
Mm.
because I may be the shipper saying, well, I work with Telly, I don't work with Sumar,
Exactly.
so
Gotcha.
why is Sumar calling me?
Exactly.
Mm. And see,
Exactly.
this is the question I want as a carrier. This just hit me when you saying that. If for instance, I'm gonna make up a name, John's Factoring. Now, John's Factoring is asking Sumar for relief all the time. You get what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, as a carrier, if you're starting somebody new, I would think a broker wouldn't want to know if you're getting bailed. It sounds like I'm getting bailed out sometimes. Just like we get in trouble sometimes, a broker's get in trouble sometimes. So let me call Sumar to help me pay this carrier. You get what I'm saying? So as a carrier, I shouldn't a broker shouldn't want a carrier to know that they get help often.
Oh,
Am
that
I
they get
wrong?
factoring.
Yes.
It's not wrong. 10 years ago, um 100%. 10 years ago, it was very secretive. It was very,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I don't want people to know. That's why we made sure, hey, you need to talk to your customer to make sure, and it's more so on the broker relationship than it really is the carrier, because the carriers, they're going to factor.
Yeah.
Even 10 years ago, it wasn't a negative on the carrier if they had a
Mm.
factoring company. That was just doing business.
Right.
On the broker side, it still can be touchy that, well, I'm using a factor. Is a factor there because I need to be bailed out,
You
or is
got
the
cash
factor
flow
there
problems.
because I want to utilize their funds to run my business? It's cheaper for me to get a, let's say, 3% factoring rate and be able to have an open line of credit the way that our credit lines operate,
Mm-hmm.
versus going to XYZ bank, paying an 18% on a particular credit line, that
Mm.
it's a revolving credit line, but I may meet my credit limit too soon, versus the factoring company that has a credit line, but the credit line is based off of your customers and not you. Banks are
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
going to set up credit
Mm.
lines based on you, not where you're getting your funds from.
Gotcha.
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 So that's where you do have to massage it, because if your customer doesn't understand the purpose of you factoring, then it
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
can be a scenario where you do have to defend yourself and your business.
Right.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
I had, and it's a great question, because I had a guy that I worked with. Um, it was one of my very first clients I ever set up in 2014. That was a broker, and he had just left a huge brokerage, had a huge client, and it was multi-million dollar contract. and we made sure.
that
Unfortunately,
he kept it.
my boss at the time was like, George, let me kind of handle this with you, because he understood the importance of making sure, like, hey, they're not setting up a factoring because they're broke and they
Yeah,
don't know how to operate a business. They're doing it because this makes the most sense for
for
their
them.
business.
Yeah.
So you
Gotcha.
really got to
That's
massage
very
those funnels to
important.
make sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's very important. Because I would think a broker wouldn't want, if I'm just thinking on the carrier side. If I'm like, I know I'm having truck problems and I want to get your load, I don't want you to know my truck is in the shop. Let me go borrow somebody else's truck right quick. Let me get this load. And it's kind of like the same thing. Let me, but we can't do that. We can't do that. I need
Yeah.
help to bail out. I got a contract, but I don't have a truck. So let me borrow some trucks. I don't want y'all to know I don't have none, but let me get these trucks. See, I can tell the way he's facing. He's like, hold on now.
Fuck to borrow a truck.
uh, uh,
So
because
George, you
isn't
got
that
any?
almost the
I've been
same?
around the insurance, the trucking insurance for a really long time as partners of mine, and man, that happens every day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
So
There's
Go
go
ahead.
ahead,
Go
never
Jay.
the same truck does the same load twice.
ahead. Go ahead, Taylor. You
No,
good?
I was just about to say we got 10 minutes left and it's been a great conversation. George,
Yeah.
what is one piece of advice you would give to a carrier who refuses to factor? Because there are carriers out here who just do not believe in
Yeah.
factoring.
Understand why you have that thought process. And make sure it's not just because you've heard somebody say the negative side of it, right? So
Hmm.
make sure if that's your stance and that's the way that you're going to go with it, that's that's your business model.
Yeah.
But just make sure that you're doing it and you're having that stance for the right reasons, and not, well, a cousin of mine had told me that a friend of theirs had a truck and the factoring
Mhm.
company put them out of business.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I don't make any money unless you're
You make
hauling
money.
loads and
Yeah.
submitting invoices for factoring.
Hmm.
Cuz I
So
think they need to understand that it's more than just you're factoring an invoice, you're essentially getting support on collecting that invoice because
all of it,
that would
yeah,
be on you to go chase the broker. And who has time to go chase a broker
Hmm.
to pay an invoice if they haven't paid it in 30 to 45 days? Because
yeah,
they also say, well, they have the Triumph. Is that what it's called? Triumph?
try and pay.
Uh, Triumph Pay.
Uh,
Um, and I've seen brokers where they have that's the only way they will pay us, and I won't even do it because I'm like, how do I know you're gonna pay Triumph? I mean, I'm kind of nervous. Like, I know my factoring company. I can email them. I know they're looking out if all the paperwork is there. So yeah, I think that's a good point that you're saying. Make sure you know why
Yeah.
you don't want to factor and not just
And
listen to other people.
and just realize how important they're gonna be once you have to chase the money after 45 days. Think about that.
the thing that if you couple quick things, and I know we're on time, but if you're driving, and sure, if you know this way better than I do, I was never a driver. If I'm driving for 8 to 12 hours, I finally get parked. I'm hungry. I
Mm-hmm.
want to take a shower. I'm tired. Oh, but wait, I don't have somebody like a Telly that I can work with. So now I got to get in my bunk, and now I got to start picking up the phone. So all that time that I wanted to relax, to rest, to do whatever else, all the other odds and ends that I needed to do, and this is just inside the truck. This isn't even home life, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is just truck stuff. Now I got to call and talk to the broker. Well, guess what? It's 8 o'clock at night. Guess who's not answering their phone?
The
The
broker.
broker. So the time that I'm driving is the time that I should be collecting, but I don't have time to do that because I'm driving. So for me, and then yeah, if somebody is not a fan of factoring because they think that, whatever they think, that's where I'm like, give somebody like myself a call. Let's
Yeah.
have a real conversation about it. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. That's fine. But don't don't not do something because somebody else had a bad time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
guess what? They're going to be the loudest on the internet. They're going to be the loudest with the reviews.
Yeah.
You do have, unfortunately, you've got some companies that are out there that oh, hey, you want to be able to get out of this or get out of that? Go write a negative review. I bet they're going to talk to you then, or I bet they're going to do this and that then. Um,
Yeah.
I've,
Mm-hmm.
I've ran into that the past couple, 3 or 4 years, and it's not a great way to do business, but I know companies that do it. So that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. To like, it's just have a conversation. Make sure you're talking to a real person. Somebody
Yeah.
that knows the industry. Um, I like the fact that I'm really active on LinkedIn, as you can
Mm-hmm.
see. Um, Anybody can find me on LinkedIn, whether you're a
Yeah.
driver, a brand new person, a vice president of some company. It doesn't make a difference. You find me on there, hit me up. I'm happy to have a conversation, and we
Okay.
can work through it. So for all of your listeners, um, let them know. Man, just hey, we're here. Sumar's here. If you just have questions about getting your business started, I'm certainly happy to help.
Gotcha. Well, I may come back out to you, George, because on Straight Connect, we're doing webinars, free webinars. So if you'd like to,
Yeah,
do a session on why you should factor, I definitely will reach back out to you.
I'm happy to do that. Yeah, no, that would be great. I
Okay.
like the product. What I've seen so far of it, it's gonna be cool.
Thank you so much. Please
Yeah,
refer all your factoring box truck people to it.
I
Exactly.
I will bring all my factoring people to it because the amount of the it looks to me, and you can correct me, the amount of information that you're going to be able to share on there is going to be beneficial to
Mm-hmm.
all of our factoring partners, and I've got
Exactly.
a few.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, George, thank you so much for joining the Box Truck Hustle podcast. I really appreciate it. You see your face popping up on all of my social medias for the next week.
I
So
love it.
go
Exactly.
Thank
ahead
you
and
so
Really
much.
reshare it.
appreciate you,
Hey,
George.
Thank
Really
yeah,
you.
so
appreciate you.
nice to meet you, Sharif. Yeah, y'all hit me up anytime you need. I'm a Houston native as well, by the way.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
All right.
I'm from Northeast Houston before I moved to Kansas City.
Not
So
Northeast. Not
Northeast
Northeast.
Houston,
He from the
Northeast.
north side.
I'm a
I'm from the
Sheldon City
south.
King guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I'm
That's
a
what I'm
Dobie
talking.
High School girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we love her anyway, so it's all right.
Well, hopefully I'll see you at the Texas Truck
yep.
Show.
Texas Truck Show. We'll see you there.
All
All right,
right.
all right. Appreciate
Thank
you, George.
you.
I talk to y'all later.
Okay.
All right now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
End session. There we go. Did I end it?